Power Slap number 18. Fight week is here, and we're going to kick off the coverage here on Slap News with the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that never seems and never will die. The one Sinn Bodhi will live on in infamous, where he goes, whether he's on a surfboard, whether he's in the desert, whether he's in the gym or wrestling ring. And even if he was under the age of 40, he'd be up there at the slap table. One Sinn Bodhi, we appreciate you joining. For people that don't know you, obviously you're one of the head recruiting talents at Power Slap, and you had a very busy week ahead of you. Of course, a ton of new guys on the tape undercard, as well as the actual live card itself taking place on YouTube from Fontainebleau. How excited are you for Power Slap 18 and everything that is unfolding this week?
I'm stoked, man. Again, from day one, especially from my first show, I was hooked when I saw it live. Like when I agreed to the job, and I was a fan, but when I really saw it live, it was a whole new level. Like I was hooked for life when I saw it live. And I think Dana White put it really well, where on any given show, on an MMA show, on whatever kind of show, there's great moments and there's moments. But in Power Slap, like every 3 seconds, there's a holy shit moment. So how do you go wrong with a whole ton of holy shit? Like, oh my God, holy mom, oh my God, oh my God. Watching everybody like lose their minds over this stuff, and it's awesome, and it's honest, and it's boiled down to its most human, instincts. It covers the love and war, the love of the fans for the competitors, the love of the competition from the competitors, and the love of war to see who's going to be the best man or woman, So I think it's absolutely pure and honest.
For sure. I mean, we woke up this morning and one Jake Hager gave us a holy shit moment. You've been talking about this for over a year. He now announces a 6-fight contract here in Power Slap. How excited are you that they were able to put pen to paper and make it happen?
I'm stoked. I'm glad to have him on. He's a good buddy of mine. I've known him for a very long time. I helped put the training wheels on him when he was becoming a pro wrestler. I'm very flattered to say that. I mean, he would have been awesome with or without my help. I just got to help. As the old school wrestlers would say, I was one of the carpenters that would help build, these big stud up and coming guys, give them the right, in-ring direction and stuff, how to teach them how to sort of hone their awesome skills into, a good sports entertainer, I guess is the term, but I mean, he is awesome in and out of the ring. He's a good dude. He's a good man with a good heart, but that fucking guy can go like that. He is a beast. He is a mastodon. So, I mean, he's got to be 6'4", about 250, give or take, and just a machine. Like he's built like a freaking U-Haul truck. Like I joked with him one night. We did a tag match. This was so long ago. And he's so tall. And I mean, I'm not a small dude. I mean, I'm 6'1", 240 pounds. And I'm a big enough dude. And I was sort of kind of, as we would say, calling in the ring. And I'm telling her, all right, pick me up, run me into that turnbuckle. But he picked me up like I was a bag of groceries. Like he just didn't need my help, and he scooped me up and he ran me in that buckle. He ran me in there so hard, and I am not exaggerating this. He ran me in so hard and so high because he's so tall that he ran me in a little bit. And he was still, pretty new, so it was a total honest mistake. But like, as we would say, it ain't ballet. He was so strong, dude. There wasn't a thing I could do. And he ran me into that turnbuckle so high that he bent me over backwards, like he had me like this, we were kind of chest to chest. And he just ran me like a grown ass dude, just picked me up like I was a bag of feathers,
Mm-hmm.
And I bent over backwards into that turnbuckle. And I kid you not, I am not freaking exaggerating when I say I used to get the best sleep on my tummy. I could lay down like this and get the best sleep. I couldn't sleep on my tummy for about 8 years after that bump, that whatever you want to call it, that impact. And I mean, I'm used to getting hit landing on a concrete, hit with steel chairs, blah, 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 blah. And Jake Hager, man, he threw me like a fucking shot put. So to quote one of my idols, Mr. T, I pity the fool that gets in there with him, because he'll be bringing the jazz. So there you go.
For sure. As part of that, he released April 17th, Wrestlemania weekend, the biggest, week in wrestling, coming to Las Vegas, all the expos, Wrestlemania, and now Power Slap is throwing themselves into the card. What can you share with us? I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be very wrestling heavy, but is this going to kind of be the baby that you've been working on now for the better part of the year and a real time for you to shine?
Short story, short answer, yes. To put it succinctly, accurately, and shortly, yes. I certainly don't want a card full of all wrestlers, but I think WrestleMania week begets a wrestling heavy card, because again, at the end of the day, it's a business and they're selling tickets and they're marketing and all that stuff. And I mean, WrestleMania is back in town for the second year in a row. They've never done a repeat city ever in 40 WrestleManias. So, I mean, last year there was, I think, just about 200,000 extra people in town for the weekend and then WrestleMania week and all that stuff, Mania week. But yeah, so Triple H is a smart cookie. He knows where his bread is buttered, so he decided to come on back to Las Vegas for round 2. And, Vegas is fight city, fight capital, and there's UFC and all sorts of awesome stuff. There's, Zuffa boxing, all the, BJJ, all this stuff. And so Power Slap is going into WrestleMania weekend with, some pretty badass guys and girls, if I do say so myself. And I can't officially say what some of the matches are, but I can tell you it's fucking awesome. And it's going to only get awesomer if I can bend the English language just a tad right there and coin awesomer. Edge and Christian coined awesomeness, which we grew up together, so I could rip that off. But this is going to be great. I mean, there's some really amazing talent. There's some championship matches scheduled, which I can't divulge. And then too, there will be some new wrestling faces that you'll see, like a la, Jake Hager, and some repeat guys and girls, and some new guys and girls. So it's going to be pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Hager, NCAA Division I All-American wrestler, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion, ECW champion, also fought in Bellator.
3-0. 3-0 in Bellator.
I think when we first seen this, the only skeptics have been 43 years of age. What does Jake still have left in the tank at this point in his career? Well,
I guess, to be honest, I guess we're going to have to find that out April 17th. How to sort of say this without sounding like a total asshole, but like there's delusion and then there's just grit, and there might be a fine line between the two, but I mean, like, Jake is as red-blooded as you're going to get. He's motivated, and, I think Jake at 43 is going to be better than most at 25. To be fair, so, and there's a lot of guys and girls out there that are like that. Not even people that I know. I'm just saying there's a good handful of humans out there that always break the mold, and he's physically one of those guys, and he is not shy doing the work. He's battle tested. I mean, again, like you listed off his accolades, All-American, 3-0 Bellator. And again, and he's not like, and this is not a condescension. This is not a disrespect of like, younger guys or girls getting released from NXT or LFG or the WWE ID program. And we have a good working relationship because it's all, again, under TKO. So we're very amicable. And we want to see these guys and girls that maybe it's not their time at WWE early on, but, they might get a chance at Power Slap. So there's that, and that's wonderful, and that's amazing. And those guys are younger, and girls are younger and hungry and all that stuff. But whereas Jake is like, and again, what I'm about to say, some of the fans will go, yeah, that makes sense. And other fans will be like, oh, yeah, it's sports entertainment, fuck off. But like what fans have to sort of realize is pro wrestling, of course, I'm not bursting any bubbles to say hey, the good guy and the bad guy are working together. They're telling a story. It's a TV show. But, and there's a big old but in that they do it so well, they make it look easy. But the average bear would fall apart, break apart, explode apart if they took a fraction of what these guys and girls do on the regular. And Jake Hager made it to the very top of the heap, like he was. And again, not to condescend an NXT title or a tag team title or an intercontinental title. He was the motherfucking WWE heavyweight champion. That's the same title as Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. The list goes on. Ric Flair. The list goes on and on and on. And again, some fans will go, well, Ric Flair couldn't probably really fight. Maybe, maybe not. But I think the average bear will get tied in a knot finding that out the hard way, And so Jake is as legitimate as they come. And again, in pro wrestling, it's so silly because some of the guys that are the top guys couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag, legit. And some of the underneath guys are tough as nails and would rip just about anybody in half. So you just never know what it is when you're watching it because everybody's playing their said role on the show, For all you know, like maybe the referee is the deadliest guy in the show. You don't know, but he's not going to look like that because he's playing the part of the referee. So it's just silly stuff like that. Whereas Jake, over and above pro wrestling, look at his amateur career. Look at his MMA career. Like he's a fucking monster. And I think it's a win-win for the power slap community because whoever we put against Jake, and we have a pretty darn good idea who that's going to be, would be pretty experienced power slap OG, who I like a lot. And he ain't no slouch. So, like, you can't put in some brand new guy and then everybody's going to go, oh, they're just feeding somebody to Jake Hager, and it's not sports entertainment. It's not pro wrestling. This is completely legit. There's a winner and a bad guy. There's not a good guy and not a good guy and a bad guy. There's a winner and a loser, So we have to like pick an opponent that's as equally as possible matched to a guy like Jake Hager. So, you can break it down and you can guess and you can speculate. I'm not gonna let you know who it is.
Let me say this. Is it a top 10 guy, a top 5 guy?
He's an awesome guy, and he's an OG, and he is
awesome guy.
And he's awesome. He's fucking awesome. And again, and if this is the route we go, but this is something I pitched, and it ain't going to be easy on Jake. It's as even as I could possibly figure it out. And the Franks and the Justins and everybody were like, that could be awesome. Holy fuck, that could be awesome. So we'll see. But I think, again, there has to be a winner. There has to be a loser. There's no fancy sports entertainment twists. Oh, stay tuned. Jake's evil twin did a run-in. Stay tuned. Same bad time, same bad channel. Like this is power slap. This is somebody's going up and somebody's going down. And so what I'm trying to explain is like, if the power slap OG guy wins, then that's certainly going to give some badass street cred to the power slap guys. And if Jake wins, that's probably going to open the floodgates to a lot of other wrestlers going, fuck, that's in my wheelhouse. I could do that, So not to pick a fight or anything, because I like him just fine. We've had our differences over the years, but I like him. But I'm just calling a spade in that if Jake wins, it gives the wrestlers credibility. If the OG power slap guy wins, it gives power slap credibility. But it gives either the guy power slap credibility because they're both, it's not WWE versus power slap. It's a power slap competitor versus a new power slap competitor that has history in WWE. But so where I'm going to pick the fight, and I know all the fucking trolls on the internet are going to cry about this or stir up some shit, but like, I think me and just about every other red-blooded wrestler was like, when CM Punk got his ass whipped twice in an octagon, we were just like, oh, what an embarrassment. Fucking hell. And like, I use that example when I talk to guys or girls, explaining to them, they're like, what if I sign up on Power Slap and what if I lose? and I always tell them, I use the CM Punk example of like, look, your sports entertainment street cred is sports entertainment street cred. Like if they like you as a pro wrestler, they all know you're the good guy working with the bad guy or vice versa. So I don't think it's going to hurt you because CM Punk got his ass whipped in an octagon twice. Like he didn't come close. He got fucking his clock cleaned twice and he still main evented WrestleMania. So, so that didn't hurt the wrestlers to go get their ass whipped in an octagon. So I think, again, if Jake goes up there, he's tough as nails. And again, he's got so much more than just a pro wrestling background. Again, 3-0 Bellator, All-American, wrestler. He's got all sorts of accolades. And so I guess what I'm just trying to say is like, I don't think there could be a loser because it's just going to be great for the power slap community to have one hell of a match. And that's, I think, on paper, if you're just touting, accomplishments or what have you, I think Jake would be arguably the fanciest guy on paper that Power Slap has seen so far. Those are three big food groups with the, the All-American and the Bellator and the WWE. And again, like the highest of WWE accolades, biggest title in the entire pro wrestling world. And it was around Jake's waist. Two different WWE top titles, like you said, the ECW title, but mostly the WWE freaking title. So,
yeah.
So whoever, and if the said Power Slap OG puts Jake down, he's got that under his fucking belt. Bless you.
Do you think this is the most important match in Power Slap history to date to solidify to the outside world that Power Slap is legit?
100%. Absolutely. No pressure, Jake. Because I really care about both guys. I really do. I think they're both amazing. So I think for me, I think for the industry, to be fair, it will be a win-win. Either way, it's great for the industry. And for me, it's like in dad mode. It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. Like either way, my heart's going to get broken. My heart's going to get broken for that Power Slap OG, or my heart's going to get broken for Jake. And it's so close. Like both these dudes, they're so different, and yet they match up so even. And but again, at the end of the day, one of those fuckers is going to break my heart, and that's going to suck for me, but it's going to be great for Power Slap. I admit that might sound cheesy or corny. I don't mean it like that at all. I fully mean what I say.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get off that horse. Power Slap 18 now is coming on. We've got a lot of new talent. Let's look at some guys here that people may not know that you would have been involved in. I think the biggest name coming in that you were involved in would be Casey Stevens from SFC. Talk to me about him and, what enticed him to come over and give him somebody in, Kalani Vakameilalo, number 4. New out of the gates, coming in, getting a top number 5 guy in the super heavyweight division.
Well, again, a lot like Jake, Grizzly, Casey Stevens is, he's the current, super heavyweight champ at another company. He is in the top 10 arm wrestlers in California. Like he's not a slouch. You can't sleep on him. He's so polite and he's so like soft spoken, but like, yeah, you can't mistake that. That's a fucking human mountain. Like I saw him today at the check-ins and he came over and gave me a big old hug, and there ain't nothing squishy about him. It was like hugging a fucking U-Haul truck. It's like I gave a big old manly man hug to a fucking U-Haul truck with a beard on it, So like it's solid. And Kalani, like the other cat, they're both fucking mastodons. So that's going to be, I think that the planet's going to shake a little bit off axis when those guys hit each other. It's just going to tilt the world just a little bit, But sure. I think he's going to be awesome. And to answer your question of like, why is he coming here? He's looking for greener pasture. He's looking to, the best competition in the world. And here he is.
For sure. A super nice guy. I've had the opportunity to meet him in California when he's competing in arm wrestling, and guy that's kind of been sitting around for a while. I know he applied probably a year and a half ago. So kind of a good story how if it doesn't happen for you immediately, to keep at it, keep on working your craft, and you never know when a new opportunities would open up. Obviously beating Tim Silva, also Tim Sylvia also helped him get this opportunity, and it's a big opportunity. And I think people are going to be incredibly excited when these two super heavyweights, as you get up there, a lot of muscle getting up there, and it'll be interesting to see the crossover of arm wrestling and how that works on the offensive side here in Power Slap. So pretty exciting.
Again, like his arms, they're
Mm-hmm.
bigger than my freaking legs. He's just so, just solid. Like he's built out of antimatter or something. Like he's just fucking solid. And we've been in communication for quite a long time. I said, be patient as I try to figure this out for you. And he was, and he's a gentleman to work with. And I will tell you something that didn't fly, that I did pitch, and I don't think it's any bad thing. It's just so it's my job to offer up cool talent and cool ideas to Power Slap, and the big boss can take or leave what he wants. He's the boss, But originally, I want to say it was that last October show where you can't just book them all of a sudden and hide it as a surprise or anything like that, because everything's sanctioned. So you have to know who his opponent is, and you have to kind of get all that stuff all set. But I just kind of thought it would be neat as a crossover from him coming from one company to another, that I'm like, well, we don't have to announce him if we just have him come out and just do an interview. Like there's interviews after every match. So it's not like I don't want this to be pro wrestling, but at the same time, just an interview, just a post-match interview, but just no match. Just have him come out and make an open challenge. I think he's got the street cred. He's earned taking on whoever, So, and then, but that didn't fly. So I was like, okay, no problem. But I thought that would have been a cool way to introduce him. But here he is. He's got a match, and off we go, and we'll see how good he is this coming Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna find out for sure. Just before that takes place, Jordan Oasis, someone who you know very, very well.
Yep.
We know all the emotion he fought with his first time up there against Jackson Slade. This time coming in against Jonathan Correa. Jonathan, we haven't seen him in the better part of 2 years. Talk to me about this matchmaking and why Jonathan's the right contender for Jordan early on in his, slap fighting career.
They match up size-wise pretty darn good. Jordan is a little bit taller and a little bit leaner, and but it balances out. It's pretty even. And one's got experience and one is just a little bit more current. So I think it's got a neat dynamic to it. And again, I think we'll have to test Jordan's chin. Him stunt, they haven't been hit yet. So my spidey sense says that he'll be able to take a shot, but until we see it, you don't know. I can guess, my whatever you want to call it, fight IQ, caveman IQ, whatever you want to call it, says I think Jordan and Stunt have a chin on them, but remains to be seen.
Yeah, we'll see. Jordan's striking first, so he may follow in the footsteps of Stunt Marshall and go 2-0 without taking a slap, but we'll see. Anything can happen on any given day. You know what, Jordan, obviously he fought with a ton of emotion, recently getting cut from the WWE ID program, and he had, a member in his family pass away. We've seen, the burst of emotion come out of him after, his victory. Is he going to be able to replicate that with not as much, I don't want to say less desire, but maybe not as fresh? Are we going to see him with the same sense of urgency?
I think I saw him today as well. I saw all of them today, to be honest. And he seems as passionate as ever. He's had a little bit more time to practice, dial in his techniques. He's getting in his own head and trying to gear himself in the right mindset. Some people, they get jazzed up in their own ways, right? So, maybe somebody needs to listen to this rap song or that heavy metal song or this or that or whatever. And what would rev me up might be different than what would rev you up, or Michael, or the next person, or Jake Hager, or Grizzly, or whatever. Everybody's different. So I think he's dialed into himself to really kind of find what's going to sort of put him in the red. And I think he's going to, unleash fury. But I mean, it's a two-way street. Again, like it's, they're both solid dudes. So there will be a winner and there will be a loser.
100%. 100%. It's going to be a great match. Second match of the night. The first match of the night on the actual live event itself. Peter Truchlik. Did you get to see him when you were overseas?
Yep, I sure did. Yeah, him and his other buddy. I'm trying to think of brain farting to think of his name, but both stout, really put together guys. He was the first guy I saw today. I watched, like those videos where the guy bumps into like the weightlifters or whatever, and to get the reaction. I did that. I snuck up behind him. I gave him a little nudge. He turned around like, "Oh, you son of a bit," and giggled. And he's a solid dude. He's built like a friggin' tank. So, did he win the coin toss? Did he not win the coin?
You got me on that one, but obviously he's facing Luke Simonds. Who people in America know quite well.
Yeah.
Had a setback, obviously lost Alan Klingbeil. For people that don't know, Peter, from not seeing him compete on this side of the world, I believe he's from, I think he's from Czechoslovakia or one of the
I think so. Yeah.
Eastern European countries.
Yeah.
What do you think he brings, here to Power Slap? And Peter is striking first.
Again, I'm going to piss off, and I'm super patriotic, and I love living in the States. Having said that, you're asking me what I honestly think he brings, and I'm never going to candy coat it or lie, but what I say might be fun, and it might be unpopular, but I think he's going to sort of bring a hardness that I think is lacking a little bit in the States. We have it so well here, like every time I hear people squawking about this and that, I just think first world problems, dude. Like they're bitching about something, and they're bitching about their problems into $1,000 iPhone, wearing $500 sneakers, and whatever, like first world problems. And where I think like some of those dudes overseas, they just come from a little bit of a harder existence, so I think he's built to weather a bit of a harder storm. So, and again, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying a lot of people, just we all have it so good over here that some people are just a little bit more delicate than others, and I think he brings that hardness to the table. And if that offends, oh well, oopsie,
For sure. I mean,
but I do think he's built out of steel. He's just a hard dude, and we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be one hell of an opening match for sure. Heavyweight division. There's a reason that was put there on the first card. The first fight on the card. So
you always want to start a card off with a powder keg. Like you want to set the tone, and you want to get the fans in the right headspace, and then blast them through the rest of the show. But if you start out with some kind of sleeper thing or something that's a little lackluster, it might just set a kind of tone. So totally. I think Peter will definitely, however it goes, I think that contest will be pretty darn awesome.
For sure. I mean, I'm sure you can see a theme here. We're not talking about Wolverine, to Crazy Hawaiian. We're not talking about Alan Klingbeil and Logan Greenhalgh. There's this is a show for the purists. So the tape fights, I know, originally started as 6. We're down to 5. Let's get into it. I think this is where you're going to make your bread and butter here, Sinn. So we've got Glenn Hunter taking on Hayden Johnson at 155, I do believe. Talk to me about these two guys, and why does this match make sense?
They're pretty evenly sized. I want to say I don't have the stats in front of me. I want to say Glenn has better reach on him. But he's got like those Popeye forearms, like he's got those spinach eating, like those the what do you call it, the sailor anchor tattoo kind of forearms. So I was again looking at him today. He was filling out some of his paperwork, and I was just like, son of a gun, he's got some big arms on him, and so he's packing a couple cannons. So I mean, if he knows how to unload it right, the night will be his. But at the same time, Hayden, he's a spitfire. So, again, the funny thing about this is it's not who can bob and weave. It's not who knows the right submission. It's not who's got the better cardio. It's who's got the better glove and the better chin that night. So I think Glenn's got, I think he's got a hardness to him where I think Hayden is a little bit more flashier, a little bit more, kind of, again, spitfire is the best way I can think of. My dog's going to lose his mind. He just heard my other dog barking.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hayden Johnson's got a guy who's been around for a long time, too. Originally, first time around at 170, so he's dropping down a weight class.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit more experience, I think.
Yeah, I mean, out of San Diego, too, with Prince Abedra, Pono Pau, some other guy, Azael Rodriguez training out of there as well. So he's been around those cats. So definitely has some experience. Second card on, Jose Perez, the brother of Dorian Perez, obviously heavyweight number one contender in power stop, taking on Jaden Schultz, who I believe is a guy that you know quite well.
Yep. Sorry, I know my wife is pulling in, so my dog is at the front door, and he's trying to greet her. So bear with Ox as he barks at my wife. Sorry. What was the question?
I was saying Jaden Schultz. I believe is he a New Zealander or something? I believe.
Yeah, and he's got, like, do you remember what was it? Like, what was that Stallone? Was it Stallone and Arnold, or was it Stallone and Kurt Russell? Who was it? What was Tango and Cash? Was that?
I'm the
like
worst
movie. It's an old cop movie. I know you're young. I know I just dated myself by giving you this like super old movie. But there's this dude that's got like this shovel size like chin in there, and like Stallone's like, "You hit that guy, you knocked that guy out, whatever." Like, and he had this big old, jaw on him, whatever. Like, Jane's got. I mean, he's a 160-pound guy with an 80-pound jaw. Like he's got a big jaw, big bone structure. Like he's a thick, big bone kid. I think if he can harness his strength right, he'll be throwing some gloves, no doubt. And I think Perez, if Perez is anything like his brother, if he's cut from the same cloth, then he'll do great too. So again, I think it's a very interesting matchup. You got a second generation guy against this big bone, thick jawed, strapping kid. And I think the kid's got youth on him too. I think the kid's got him by a few years, so he's got that youthful piss and vinegar ready to go. I think the first time he gets hit, he will wake up. I think he's got that to him. So we'll just have to see.
For sure. We're going to find out. The Newfoundland Nightmare. I'm going to call him Justin. I have his legal name, which I don't think he goes by. So I'll just call him Justin. Okay. Taking on Zeke Taylor. Guy from, the Renton, Seattle area, obviously with Islander background. He's doing some wrestling in, Northern California right now. Two guys who kind of fit your wheelhouse. I mean, these are your prototypical Sinn Bodhi recruits. What are we going to see?
I don't know exactly what that means. I'd like to think my typical recruits would be interesting, fighters that could really get down and pull their weight, but do it in a really fun and entertaining way. So if that's what you mean, I'll take it.
I think so. I think both these guys will do that.
I think so. Justin I know Justin better than I know Zeke. And Justin's got heart. Justin's got work ethic. Justin is giving up pretty good chunk of size to Zeke. But I mean, they're in the heavyweight category. Zeke is cutting weight right now just to make his weight. But I mean, he's a pretty heavy dude, and the weight difference we'll just see. We'll just see how that goes. But I mean, in the super heavyweight category, sometimes there's 70, 80 pound or more difference. So this is like however it all plays out, there will be a size difference. And Justin, he said it before. He said it today at doing his paperwork. He's like, "I'll go against anybody, any size." So he's got that. And he's not a dumb guy. He's not a reckless guy. He's a ballsy guy. He's just a man's man, and he's just wants to provide for his family. He'll slap Godzilla if we put Godzilla in front of him.
Yeah.
And Zeke, Zeke is he's a big, fucking huge island boy, just solid. I wouldn't want to get hit by him. When you look like this, you couldn't afford to get any uglier. So I certainly wouldn't want to get slapped by either of those dudes, but
Sure.
or anybody. I don't even want to get slapped by Haley J, let alone Zeke or the Newfoundland Nightmare, So
Exactly. Well, being able to see Zeke at the combine, definitely, a guy that's fighting with, a purpose, has a young family, guy trying to make his way through. So a guy that has, who's competed in football, obviously wrestling. Was he even a run it guy too? I think maybe, wasn't he, up in Seattle? I think he might have competed once.
If he did, I'm not aware of that. Like I did have a couple of run it guys at the last combine, but no, I could be wrong, but I don't think he did run it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but the big strong guy, like you said, and I'll give you a comparison. So I'm a Canadian.
And he's tall too. He's got height and weight on Justin. So Justin, I think, would be the underdog, but Justin's got that. He's got that devil in him. Like he's such a good dude, but when he unleashes, he's a strapping tough cat. So
absolutely. All right, what's next on the card?
And I think Justin won the coin toss. So if Justin can pull I think we're just gonna have to coin the phrase, pull a stunt marshal, if he can get that done. But
for sure. What do I got here? I've got Jess Rubio versus Jamie Hinshaw for the women.
I think this is Rubio's first time, I think, right? Yeah. And we're Jamie was in there a couple times before. She's got a couple matches at least under her belt. And she's stout. She's real built, strong. She's given up height to probably just about everybody. She's a little short little thing. But again, she makes up for lack of height with she got muscles in places. I don't even have places. But Rubio, she's young and hungry, so we'll see. But I can guess who I think and also too, I think she's got a fire to her. I think she's smiley and friendly and stuff, but I think she'll kind of turn up the heat when she gets hit. Is different people react differently. Like some people, you chip them away when they get hit. Some people wake up when they get hit. So we'll just kind of have to see which way she goes on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would always say, for self-defense, like when they're doing women's self-defense, like hitting a guy in the nuts isn't the greatest idea because half the guys are going to go down, but the other half are going to wake up and get mad. So it's always women's self-defense is, eyes, ears, throat, knees,
Mm-hmm.
The junk, if that's your only target, that's what you can grab a handful of or kick or whatever, fine. But there's other meaner places to go. And I think she's, I just think there's a lot of fire there to be harnessed. And there you go.
For sure. All right, then let's keep moving on. Not too much else I can add to you for that one. So we'll see, like you said, experience, but then, Jess,
and weirdly, this will sound so, I don't know, maybe it won't sound weird, but she's so pale. So you can see Jamie. So you can see if she's flush or flustered or whatever. When you see that red, coming up on somebody's skin, it might give you a little extra incentive or a glimmer of hope, going, oh, look, I put a dent in this person. I can see where the damage is done. Where Rubio's darker complexion, it's harder to tell that damage. I was talking about this a little while ago, but there was this dude I used to spar with back in Toronto. He was built like a brick shithouse. He could hit. He was smart, flexible. But he was so dark. He was a black dude, but he was so dark, like midnight sky black. You couldn't tell. And I remember unloading on this dude. We were sparring full contact at this tournament, and we always ended up being in the same division together because we were the same weight and we fought differently, but we were more or less the same size. He was leaner, had a way better looking physique than me. I was just more of a burly dude that could move my weight, and I was flexible. I had good legs back in the day. This guy had legs for days, but like I would unload on this dude, and like my cardio is awesome. It was awesome, is awesome. But at like early 20s and some of those karate tournaments, unloading on this dude, and I'm like, I'm hitting this motherfucker with everything in the kitchen sink, and he doesn't even look like he's breathing hard, and I'm flush. And I'm breathing. And again, my cardio is amazing. And I was just like, holy crap, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? And then just as I'm literally about to throw in the towel, I'm like, I can't put a dent in this guy. And he literally he's like, all right, I'm done. I can't go anymore. I'm like, well, I was like, oh my God. Like I was just about to do the same thing. Like we were just, you couldn't tell, like I couldn't see where he was flush, So I was like starting to be my own worst enemy. I was losing in my own mind, I think very much like Big Zach did in his first debut when he didn't put Rowe down in his first shot. His strategy didn't go past the first round. He's like, I'm gonna sleep this guy in the first round. And when Rowe ate it with a smile, Zach was his own undoing. And Zach even admitted that. I talked to him and I go, "That's what you're thinking." He goes, "Yeah, how'd you know?" Like, because I fucking read minds. I could tell that's exactly what you're thinking. He's like, "That's exactly what I was thinking." And so it sounds so silly to say, but that dude Otis was a hell of a fighter, but he was so dark I couldn't see that. So for whatever reason, my brain started just going, "Oh man, you're not putting it down. You might as well just throw in the towel. Like he's gonna kill you, whatever." And right before I did, he did, and that was just the damnedest thing, So I think if Rubio sees that Jamie is getting clobbered and she's flush, and if she lets that get under her skin too, if she shows frustration on top of that flushness, I think that'll be like chumming the waters for the new girl, So there's that. So that's my odd little take on that. But
oh good. Donovan Cecile versus Daniel. I'll call him Haas Hog. I don't know. Saying his last name or no? I mean, what we're saying.
So his wrestling name is Big Dick Haas.
Yeah.
And I think for whatever,
you won't let him.
They won't. I don't know why, but okay. Again, I'm not the boss. The boss can make the boss decision.
You're on the record and saying that you haven't verified that.
I'll totally verify that he wrestles as Big Dick Haas. I think all the top guys from all of them were like, that's amazing, but somehow that name didn't get to the name slate. So they went with Haas Hog. So I'm like, okay, whatever you want, no problem. But yeah, he's big, solid dude. I think he can definitely eat it, but is he going to wake up? Is that inner horse going to get spurred? Is he going to get hit and get revved up because of it? Or is he going to be gun shy from it? We'll have to wait and see. And Cecil, strong as nails, just solid as fuck. Legit Kentucky tough man, So, I mean, that's a pretty gnarly title to have. Did the tough man contests in Kentucky, and he's a pro wrestler too. So same as Haas, so he can take impact for big dudes. Again, that slap is such a centralized, such a sniper impact. All the wrestlers, they're used to getting hit with body slams and steel chairs and concrete and all that stuff. But that slap is so snipered, so you pinch that chin the right way, turn out the lights, party's over. So that'll be really neat to see. But again, it's so hard to call. And he's got that beard, which might throw off Haas a little bit. He's got that long, crazy, Viking beard. So I know the beards can kind of be a bit of an obstacle for people. But I mean, yeah, they're both heavy hitting big dudes.
For sure.
Super heavyweights.
Yeah. I mean, super heavyweights.
Super duper heavyweights. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, those are kind of the new recruits coming in here, but is there one match in particular, top to bottom, whether we talked about it or not, that you can't wait, to come up and is going to be much watch TV?
Oh, geez. I mean, this whole card is full of those. And not to like, I don't mean to, hey, check out the show. The show's going to be amazing. Like, this show's the best show ever. And then you say that before every show. Like, all the shows are amazing. And this whole show is going to be amazing. But it's really hard for me to pick a standout because there's really good stuff on this show. Throw me back. Give me a rundown, and I'll snap pick one that I.
Sure. I mean, so obviously we've got Wolverine versus the Crazy Hawaiian.
I mean, that's going to be awesome, and you know, that's going to be phenomenal. And again, and much respect and love to the Hawaiian and to the Power Slap community for the loss of Vern. You know, that's awful. And I mean, you know, Hawaiian's still going to compete, and they were so close. So whether Hawaiian puts that in his fuel tank and uses it as fuel, or if it's his undoing, I don't know. You know, like that's a heavy burden to put on somebody right before they're going to compete, and it could be a blessing or a curse depending on how his brain processes it. And he's a fighter, so I'd like to think he's going to use it. You know, to have Vern on his shoulder. You know, I'd like to think that's how that's going to happen. But I mean, and Wolverine he's a bad dude. You know, he can go. He's got amazing experience. He's a fucking champ. You know, he's a champ for a reason. He can take it and he can give it. And we've seen him like have wars. Like him and Klingbeil was one of my favorite matches of all time. I don't know that I've seen a better match than that match in Riyadh. It was awesome. Like I saw it live, like seeing it on tape, seeing it on YouTube is amazing. Seeing it live, as you would know, it's just a whole other level of holy shit. To go back to Dana White's term, you know. But yeah, I mean, that could be really emotionally, spiritually, that's the match because, you know, the ghost of Vern will be on the Crazy Hawaiian shoulder. So that'll be spiritually the most important match, I would think. And it's the pinnacle match regardless. So, I mean, I think that's the no-brainer match. That's your Hogan and Andre match. That's your, you know.
Yeah, it's legend versus legend, really.
Yeah. So. I mean, and Hawaiian, you know, going through just about every weight class. I mean, that's just interesting to me. It's just neat to see him go from super heavyweight to heavyweight to, you know, light heavyweight. Like just that's a journey, man, you know, and that's not easy on the body. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think you can't lose. Although every match on this show is awesome. Like this show is sold out for a reason. It's star-studded. It's jam-packed with talent. It's going to be freaking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely going to be something to see those two legends going back and forth. And as you alluded to, you know, the passing of Vern White, you know, rest in peace, obviously, from the Slap News, you know, community here on, you know, tomorrow night, which is Thursday after the weigh-ins at Stadium Swim. Oh, what's up, Sid?
I'm just pointing to the sky.
Okay, awesome. I was going to say at Stadium Swim, we're going to be doing a little tribute to Vern White as well. So anybody, if you're in Las Vegas, you want to come by Stadium Swim at Circus Sports around 5:15, we're going to be doing a moment of silence for Vern and, you know, having a little get together. The Hawaiian will be there and everything. So if you get that opportunity, definitely come by and check it out. Yeah, but the show continues on. Light heavyweights, Alan Klingbeil, Logan Greenhalgh, very foreseeably could be a number one contender match. Could see the, could see the winner go up there on stage after the Ron Beta to Crazy match potentially.
And I'll say, like, I think both guys are awesome, but I've got a lot of respect personally for Alan, for the Kryptonian. I don't know if stop me if I've told you guys this before, but like, so here where I live, I'm about an hour out of Vegas on the edge of Death Valley, and I do like a Christmas charity wrestling show. This past Christmas was my third year, and we raised proceeds to feed and give toys to about 2,500 people. We give toys and food to all these kids, and so I was just thinking of, like, on top of some wrestlers to do the show, I thought for some weird reason, I thought Alan lived in LA. And so I called him. I said, "Hey, would you like to do like a guest spot? You know, maybe give out some T-shirts and we could do a little spot with one of the bad guys or something or whatever." And he goes, "Yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. I'd be honored." And I was like, "Okay, great." So I gave him the details. Blue bada bing. I see him at the show. You know, there he is. And then he tells me something. He's gonna fly out in the morning. I go, you're flying out to L.A.? He goes, no, I'm flying out to San Antonio. And I said, oh, cool. What's in San Antonio? He goes, I live in San Antonio. I was like, what? What do you mean? I thought you live in L.A. He goes, no. When you called me, I was in L.A. He was doing like I think a movie audition or something. And so, long story short, when I asked Alan to do that thing, and I told him, it's this Christmas charity show for the kids, for underprivileged kids. He got his own hotel, got his own flight, and flew his ass from Texas to Nevada to entertain kids. We didn't ask for a dime, didn't squawk about anything. He was there to do whatever I asked him to do, and he did it with a smile. And just what a gentleman, what a great, awesome, red-blooded human to do that, for all those kids, So on top of him being an awesomely talented, hardworking guy, like he won me over as a human that day. He was always nothing but nice to me, very respectful, professional, timely, everything you'd want in a competitor, performer, whatever. And but yeah, over and above, just awesome human. So I emotionally I got no problem saying that. No disrespect to his opponent, but I'm a Klingbeil guy. So there's that. I won't say that about any other matches. I'm emotionally invested in all these matches. I care about all the fighters, but I can make no qualms about saying, like, Alan doing something like that for the kids. Really, really. Well, I won't ever forget that.
Absolutely. We've got Azael Rodriguez making his return to 185, taking on Brandon Rhodes, a top 5 contender. I mean, two guys with a ton of experience in here. 185 definitely blends a good mix of athleticism and power together.
And they can eat it for not, they're not big dudes, but they can shout, they can weather the storm for sure. So it'll be really interesting to see. It's not like one guy's got a chin, one guy's got a good hand. Like they both can throw and they both can take. So that'll be real close, I think.
For sure. Let's go over one more. Wes Mena and Zakir. How do you peg Zakir? Because obviously there's a language barrier. We may not truly know the real Zakir. We see he's got a fun, loving, joking side.
Sure.
As a personality, he does all kinds of crazy stunts on social media. But talk to me about the warrior and the competitor that you've seen, because I'm sure you've seen him fight more than anybody else on earth, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen all of his matches live. He's just got that thick neck on top of like just inhuman strength. Like, for him to leg press a car, or for him to do the old circus strongman stunt of like blowing up a hot water bottle. Try blowing up a hot water bottle. See if you don't have an aneurysm trying to, get that done. Like that is not easy. But but Wes ain't no slouch either. Like Wes is a bad dude, and when he gets in that pocket, man, he's got a hand on him, He's got leverage on Zakir, but Zakir has certainly got strength on Wes. So, again, two very different competitors, but a really cool, very oddly even match. Even though they're so different, and yet what a great match I think they'll be. And yeah, and again, he's, Zakir lives in the snow, and where Wes is a warm weather guy, so it's warm right now in Las Vegas, so that should accommodate Wes a little bit more. So, but if Zakir can leg press a fucking car in a snowbank, then it's not so hot in Las Vegas where he's going to be like, oh, dying from heat exhaustion, like he's not gonna. It's not that bad. So I think like. It's again, so different, but yet equally matched, I think.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm going to put you in your elements. I'm going to ask you one last question so you get on there with the wife and the animals and everything else.
Cool.
But
I got to go back out there and check. Before we got on here, we were having those technical difficulties, and I was gonna do this whole thing with you sitting in my pig pen with Blank Vader, and then the internet was fudging around, or whatever the lasers of the internet were not on our side. So I came inside to do this very professional podcast, sitting at an actual professional desk in my professional office, not in an unprofessional pig pen cuddling with a big old pig. So there you go.
Yeah. But if someone's sitting on the fence, they're not sure if they want to buy a ticket to come Friday night to Power Slap 18, or they don't know if they want to watch the YouTube live broadcast, why should they?
Dude, from front to back is going to be chock full of holy shit moments with loved competitors, new competitors. It's going to be amazing. One of my old coaches used to say, baby, we'll fill you the whole seat, but they only going to need the edge, daddy. So everybody will be sitting on the edge of their seats from start to stop. Again, watching new competitors make their mark, watching OG competitors hold their ground. It's going to be fucking awesome. And if you can watch it live, good luck and enjoy it, because you've already got your ticket because it's sold out. That's got to tell Planet or something. Like, all these shows are either sold out or damn near sold out. So that's a great problem to have. We're going to start needing bigger venues, and if you're watching it on YouTube, you get those wicked replays. You get Bisbing and his amazing color commentary, which I think is great. Ketchup on the burger. It's just fun listening to him, commentate, and excuse me. It's awesome. So yeah, live, phenomenal. On YouTube, you're going to get awesomeness from start to stop. And the price is on YouTube. The price is right. I mean, why don't you want to see true human gladiators for free on the internet? Easy sale.
Absolutely awesome, Sinn. Well, I appreciate you joining me. Look forward to catching up with you in Las Vegas later in this week. It's
Yes,
gonna
sir.
be a great time. Obviously, starting tomorrow with the weigh-in show, 9 a.m. till 11. All the fighters will be getting their weighed in. And then on fight day, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock in the East on YouTube. Take care, Sinn, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me.